I want you guys to realize that what you're seeing right now in my garage is way better than it was. I haven't really shown pictures to anybody, so don't comment too much about how unorganized it is. I want you to realize that I have thrown away 2 or 3 of these cans already, right there. So yeah, I'm really taking this Corona cleaning challenge thing serious, but I found something in the garage and I wanted to show you guys. So let's take a walk to the backyard where I've got it placed. But I want to know, what are you guys finding? I'm sure that now that we're all kind of quarantined at our house, can't really go anywhere, that yeah, we're doing all kinds of things to stay busy. So what are you doing to stay busy? If you follow me on Instagram, you see that I'm trying to keep up with my regular schedule, working out as much as I can, kind of waking up still 6 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. Like I used to do. Then kind of getting some coffee, getting a workout in between 6:30, 7:30, that kind of thing. And trying not to stay too off schedule, right? And then also really just trying to find things to do. I'm still working from the house, so that's nothing too crazy. But here is what I found. And backyard's not organized. I'm just shooting this quickly for fun to show you guys how awesome this is that I found. So I found this. Check out that World's Fair Premium Beer 1984 edition. So this is beers from 1984. This is almost 40 years old. I think what's crazy is that you can't even turn these in the plastic just because they're so old. And also too, think about this. Look at the top, the old pull tops, right? Before we realized that we shouldn't be littering these guys all over the earth, and people came up with the pull tabs that we have today, or I guess I'd say the tabs that we have today. So check these things out, right? So what they're listing here is some of the other World's Fairs, right? So Seattle 1962, New York 64, Montreal 67. So that's pretty cool stuff. But you can switch the can around, right? And you can see even more. So check this out, right? We got San Antonio 68, Osaka in 1970. We got Spokane, so Spokane, Washington 74. Okinawa 75, it's pretty cool. Knoxville 1982. Now we'd have to go back in the history books and see why there's only so many on here, right? Like that I don't know, but it's pretty nuts too, because look, San Antonio Brewing Association, right? Like what in the absolute heck? Like that these guys in San Antonio, Texas. Now the one thing I think that's interesting is this says 1984, but it doesn't actually say where the World's Fair is. So that's one thing that we should look up. So let's do that really quick. 1984 World's Fair. I probably should have done that before we got started, but hey, why not look that up, right? So where were you in 1984? Me, I was 5 years old and I was still living in New Orleans. 1984 World's Fair. Oh, okay, this makes a ton of sense. Louisiana World Exposition, 1984. I believe this is when it was in New Orleans. And yes, it does. So World's Fair held in New Orleans, Louisiana. So this beer would have been purchased probably by my grandfather who lived there, Floyd Long. If you go look up the Longs, they have a pretty interesting history there in Louisiana coming out of Winfield. So that's where this beer had to have been purchased by my grandfather, probably 1984, since the World's Fair was there. But this is pretty nuts, man. I think it's interesting, New Orleans, right? But it's a San Antonio beer. I feel like they could have found like Jack's Brewery or something. Maybe that wasn't around in the 80s, but that would have been cool if they had a New Orleans beer for that. So, man, what kind of crazy stuff are you guys finding, right? Like, let's look at this again. What kind of stuff are you guys finding going through your Corona cleaning challenges like that Instagram has so called us out on? But I think it's interesting. Recyclable, all aluminum can. Yeah, no duh. Beer brewed from only the finest ingredients. So what we also have learned out of this is that beer marketing has not changed very much. It just doesn't have the word craft on it anywhere, does it? Just World's Fair. It's premium beer, the 1984 edition. All right, so let me know what you guys are finding. Hit up the comments with the craziest thing that you guys found. Tag me in some pictures and stuff like that. I think it'll be interesting to see what you guys are finding, how you're keeping yourself busy, how you're keeping yourself fit. Pay attention to your nutrition. And keep your mental game strong. You know, this isn't a time to worry about the things that we don't have now, the things we don't have access to. It's the time to worry about the things that we can worry about, the things we do have access to, the things that we do have in our life, not the things we don't. So Thanks for watching today. Remember, Brian Pierce, your purveyor of awesome. Have fun out there, and see you guys on the internet.